And you run into somebody who seems like a witch who will take advantage of you and hurt you until finally even that kind of a guy rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself exactly. He hired a badass named Brian Friedman, and he has badass women like me defending him. But slowly but surely, I think the male class is learning down on the floor, squirming and apologizing for being a man is not the way.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. And then she wanted to, ixnayed all of the wardrobe choices, because when you're making a movie about a poor woman who's suffering from domestic violence, you want her to look like she has money.
Right.
That Blake said.
That's what she did.
She looks like she has money.
Yep.
And she's dressing in florals, and then she's going on this press tour pushing her liquor line and her hair care line, because that's what women who are trying to escape with their lives are worried about.
And trying to signal to Justin Baldoni's team, like, look, we have nothing to do with this. We're not friends with her anymore. We don't even like her. We don't even know her. We can't believe she said this. They were running articles. She feels used. She feels abused. They claimed to TMZ in one article that she only met Justin once, and it was briefly, and essentially she was startled because the meeting was supposed to be over at Blake's apartment.
I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. Everything he says is self-flagellating over the fact that he's a man, but he's, to me, is sort of the embodiment of what happens when you totally emasculate a man. And then she continued, she took that stiletto and stuck it in his heart when he was down there self-flagellating, being so sorry for anything having to do with his testosterone.
Non-legal expertise, as I have said from the very beginning, smartest possible move for Justin Baldoni's team to make. I've said depose her. I wasn't sure they were going to do it because Brian Friedman was asked about it by Harvey Levin on TMZ, and he said, well, we don't know. We'll see which way this case goes. And I'm going, what do you mean you don't know? That would be like the very first thing I would do. I would depose Taylor Swift against Blake Lively because first and foremost, no matter how you feel about Taylor Swift, you have to recognize and respect the fact.
Justin Baldoni, he has fought back yet again. He filed a lawsuit against the New York Times, which he had Brian Friedman on to discuss, saying it had done a defamatory report on Blake Lively's claims that she was allegedly harassed by this guy when they shot the movie It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence. In that claim, they said the Times distorted the truth. They did not report text messages which were full and complete, which showed a very different meaning than the snippets that Blake Lively put in her complaint.
Respect to them for the speed at which her marketing team moves. Dropped an entire article in the press announcing that her and Blake are taking a break. They're no longer friends because, shocking, Taylor Swift feels used. She always feels used. And she wants nothing to do with the Justin Baldoni situation. Is she being used, or are people starting to jump into lifeboats because Ryan and Blake's Titanic, the ship that not even God could sink, is sinking? It's going down because God is God, okay?
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal. I had an intense year, a lot of material success, and a lot of emotional stress. It's very hard on me and my...
Hollywood on fire. The Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni scandal that shook the industry. What started as a straightforward legal battle has exploded into one of the most sensational Hollywood scandals in years. The It Ends With Us lawsuit between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni was supposed to be about contracts, control, and creative rights, but somewhere along the way, the story took a sharp and scandalous turn. For months, the world thought this was just another clash of egos. Blake and Justin were locked in a tense standoff over production issues. Lawyers were posturing, and Hollywood barely blinked. But then came the whispers, rumors of secret meetings, classified evidence, and something far more personal than a legal dispute. And then came Megyn Kelly. With her trademark smirk and razor-sharp delivery, Kelly didn't just comment. She detonated the rumor mill. What if this lawsuit isn't just about contracts? She asked. What if Blake Lively is fighting so hard to keep this case private because she's hiding something much bigger? In that instant, Hollywood stopped and listened. Because nothing fuels a celebrity scandal quite like the scent of an alleged affair. At first, Fans dismissed the idea outright. Blake Lively, the golden girl of Hollywood, the picture-perfect wife to Ryan Reynolds, caught up in a secret romance? Impossible. But as the days went by, the puzzle pieces stopped fitting. Why was Blake so desperate to seal the court filings? Why did every move she made feel like damage control rather than defense? The internet did what it does best. It started digging. Every old interview, red carpet exchange, and behind-the-scenes clip was scrutinized. Every glance, every laugh, every touch was replayed and reinterpreted. Soon, speculation hardened into theory, and theory turned into viral fact. Then came the real bombshell, whispers of a romantic relationship between Blake and Justin during filming. Suddenly, everything, the secrecy, the tension, the lawsuit, made a dangerous kind of sense. If true, it wasn't just a professional scandal, it was personal. Because if these rumors were real, Blake wasn't just fighting a lawsuit. She was fighting for her marriage, her reputation, and everything she'd built alongside Ryan Reynolds. And that's when the internet went nuclear. Within 24 hours, social media transformed into a digital crime lab. Twitter threads dissected body language like FBI reports. TikTok flooded with side-by-side comparisons of Blake's interactions with Justin versus Ryan. YouTube channels cranked out, exposed videos with dramatic voiceovers and timestamps, each promising to reveal the real truth. Then the most explosive rumor of all dropped, alleged recordings. Explicit ones. If these tapes were real, they could end careers in minutes. Whether they existed or not didn't matter. The belief that they might exist was enough to send Hollywood into chaos. Suddenly, Ryan Reynolds wasn't the charming bystander anymore. He was part of the story. His marriage, once hailed as the internet's favorite love story, was under siege. Fans flooded his Instagram, searching for clues. Every witty comment, every old interview was reanalyzed. Was his humor a mask? Had he known all along? The silence was deafening and dangerous. Because in the world of celebrity scandal, silence only fuels the flames. Brands began to pull back. Studios hesitated. The perfect Lively Reynolds image, funny, flawless, and unshakably solid, was cracking before the world's eyes. As for Justin Baldoni, his role was equally murky. Depending on who you asked, he was either the villain exploiting the chaos or the victim caught in a storm he never meant to start. What's clear is this: the scandal has outgrown its origins. This isn't just about it ends with us anymore. It's about survival of reputations, marriages, and multi-million-dollar careers. Blake needs to clear her name. Ryan needs to reclaim control of his narrative. Justin needs to decide whether he's the scapegoat or the spark.